Tommy was born on October 11th of 2023. He's definitely gonna be the fun and carefree, goofy one between him and my older son. My older son is very particular and kind of like straight-laced and things like that, whereas Tommy, he's just a lot more, you know, silly and playful. I'm Rachel, and I am a mom to 2 little boys, sharing my experience from when I had my son at the Bediako Birthing Center. I had very high expectations, but I knew they were warranted. I had my older son at a large hospital in a large city, but when I got pregnant with Tommy, one of the things I was most excited about for the care process of pregnancy and having a baby was that I was going to have him here at Hillsdale Hospital. I know how beautiful the birthing center is, of course. These days, more than half of rural communities don't have a birthing center in their community or at their local hospitals.
Rachel is one of the most energetic, happy-go-lucky people and patients that we have, and really we expected her to have a very low-risk pregnancy and postpartum time period.
My prenatal experience in the clinic was very personal. When you're pregnant, there's so much excitement and anticipation, but you also feel extremely vulnerable, just in general. And with your health, with your physical mobility, just in life, you feel very vulnerable when you're pregnant. I've had a miscarriage in the past, so I know what it feels like to be in an ultrasound room getting not yet bad news, but you know the bad news is coming. To have the kind of comfort and security of an ultrasound tech who, you know, they're professional, you know they're doing their job, they know what they're doing, they know their stuff, so the care is excellent. But that emotional support is there too, which is really powerful when you're pregnant and overwhelmed.
She desired to have her birth at a birthing center at our hospital. If there was an emergency, if there was anything or any interventions that needed to be done, that we would be there for her. And we're so glad that she did.
So I ended up coming in at 9 o'clock the night before. I was supposed to come in at 6 a.m. for an induction, and the process started from there. Dr. Odell got there, we started the pushing process, and it was a very calm and relaxed experience. Tommy was born. They laid him on my chest. I'm like, you know, basking in the glow of this new baby and just looking at him. And my husband is, you know, right there by my shoulder looking at Tommy, and we're kind of looking at each other like, oh my gosh, look at him, he's here, you know. And then I started feeling very tired. Come to find out later, and I didn't fully realize, you know, everything that happened until well after the fact, but I had a severe postpartum hemorrhage right after the delivery of the placenta.
She lost a significant amount of her blood volume in her body, and in that situation it is a clinical emergency. Our nursing staff was holding her hand, rubbing her arm, telling her it was going to be okay, you know, while we were doing these other procedures. So it truly takes a team.
It got to the point basically where we have a device here at Hillsdale Hospital called a Jada that is used in situations like this, and that step fortunately worked to stop the bleeding. But if that hadn't worked, the next step would have been, you know, emergency hysterectomy, and if eventually the bleeding was not controlled, that can be fatal for mothers after delivery. So it really was an experience where the Hillsdale Hospital team, at the very least, saved me from having an emergency hysterectomy, but more than likely saved my life.
After the storm had settled, I was able to speak with her about what happened and what she needed, and to be there for follow-up.
Those kind of questions and conversations helped me to recognize, like, this is a big deal, and if I were not in a hospital, and potentially if I were not in this hospital, I would not have survived that birthing experience. And when I think about the women in this country, because of the lack of maternal care and obstetrics care in rural communities, who may not have the opportunity to drive 30, 45 minutes, an hour to have a baby, and they think, well, maybe I'll just try to do the home birth thing. If that had been me, I would not be here today. And that is something that I will, you know, continue to be processing for probably a very long time.
We want to give the patient as much control over her own birth experience as possible. And so kind of in the midst of that. Hello.
Surprise.
Hi.
I'm crashing your interview.
Totally fine.
Well, I'm crashing your interview to tell you thank you for the care you provide. I did not think I was going to get emotional about this because I'm usually not like that. But obviously that was a scary experience for me and for our family. But what I remember most was that you were just like even keel the whole time, like cool, calm, and collected. I had no indication that anything was wrong. I don't think I knew anything was wrong until I started crying after the fact. And then I remember you were like reassuring me, like, it's okay, you know?
Yeah.
But on my 34th birthday, I was sitting on the floor in the living room with my kids and my husband, and I was just thinking how different it would look in that room if I wasn't there. So I just wanted to thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For the care you provided. I never thought I would start crying about it.
You make me cry.
Oh my goodness. But I wanted to thank you so much. He is just growing up into a beautiful, rambunctious little baby. He's got more and more personality every day. It feels like he's very smiley and very giggly and just a happy baby. He loves to snuggle, which I love too, because I love to snuggle. And what mom doesn't like to snuggle their babies, right?